was a child, they used to tell me some phrases. Everything happens for good. There is a purpose behind everything what is happening in your life. One day, when I got my result for 11th standard, I saw I failed. What's so good about it? I should think about that. Sometimes we get the answers very fast, but sometimes it takes long to get the answers. But there is always a good behind everything. By the time the year finished off, my previous batch, which was on vacations, board examination vacations, but I was still coming to the school. One day when I was coming to the school, in recess, I came out to the mango grove side. We had a mango grove in our school, and I saw all silence. In recess, school, silence. Isn't it amazing? But then I found that somebody has fiddled with the beehive, and it was all bees flying around. And suddenly, I saw a small girl, second standard girl, coming towards me, crying, writhing in pain, because all the bees were on her. Not even a single part of her body was visible, but bees. I couldn't think of anything. I ran towards her, took off my sweater, threw over her, picked her up and ran towards the school. Later on, doctor told that had she been late by 5 more minutes, she would have died. That was the reason for my failure. Perhaps I was supposed to be surviving that girl, and had I not failed, I would have been preparing for my examinations. So there is always a reason behind what is happening in your life. Just wait for that. 1999, Kargil War, and I was deployed on line of control with a platoon troop, 28 guys under me. The Pakistani post was hardly 80 meters away. Firing used to be a daily affair, bombardment, direct firing. They used to come to our side, dare us. We used to go to their side, chop their heads. It was a normal affair. Till one day, when there was again silence. This silence was killing. Somewhere my gut feeling was saying, it's a lull before storm. Something is going to happen now. Lo and behold, 15th of July 1999, the firing starting again. One round crossed over me, landed very far away. The second very round next to me. Bomb exploded into millions of pieces. Some cut through my legs, some pierced inside my body. The blood was oozing out of me like fountain. Within a fraction of seconds, I was again silent. I was taken to the hospital. Doctor, on arrival, saw me and said, he's dead, take him to the mortuary. But lucky I was, there was another fellow, senior doctor, visited at that hospital that day. He was an anesthetic. They are specialized in reviving. He saw me and he revived. Third day, when I came into consciousness, the doctor comes to me and says, your leg is affected with gangrene. We need to evacuate you further for better medical facilities. I just smiled and said, okay, sir. I was taken to Udhampur. There, when they opened my band-aid, I saw nothing is left. It was like a chicken leg piece, half eaten, some amount of flesh and some amount of bone. But doctor was mustering the courage to share this news with me. I saw that nothing left. Doctor sometimes goes to this side of my bed, sometimes the other side, and suddenly he comes to me and says, son, I think we need to ampute it. We'll try to save as much as we can. I said, sir, please go ahead. I see there is nothing left. I don't know from where that flash of thought which came to my mind at that moment. Now I'll see how physically challenged people live. This is a new challenge for me. And then the life continued in hospital for good about 1 year. I used to be inside the ICU. By the time I had called for my small tape recorder, which I carried on my post, with a cassette of Sholay. Gabbar used to say, "Kitne aadmi the?" And that nurse, Nightingale, sitting in front of me used to feel, "Kaisa aadmi hai?" His folks outside are worried for his life. They are being given time, 72 hours more. He is dangerously ill. We never know when will he die. And he is enjoying inside. Because they could not take away my smile. After few more operations, removal of damaged intestine, and I was sent to Command Hospital, Pune, for fitment of my artificial limb. When I arrived there, before the admission, they carry out some tests. They measured my weight. It came out to be 28 kgs. 40 days of hospitalization, lot of bottle of blood and protein pumped inside me, highly proteinized diet was given to me, but I was just mere 28 kgs. So many injuries. Sometimes I think that we can play a game. You name a part, I'll tell you which injury is there. But see, one thing still intact. Colgate smile. When I overcome this injuries with my attitude, I thought perhaps, I am good enough, I can take care of all this thing, life will be good now, never mind, so what if I have lost my leg and several injuries, I am still fit. That's the time when God told me, "Hey Sonny, come back, there's a lot to come still." And that's when the emotional side started. My childhood was not very good. I was devoid of care, affection and things like that. So I always used to crave that one day I'll get married and I'll have a small family, a loving wife, kids, Rishikesh Mukherjee type, small house, singing around, all that stuff. But it was not like that. Perhaps God wanted to learn few more lessons. There was something more yet to come. So, few more visit to the hospital, but this time it was to psychiatric ward. Twice I was admitted there. And then again I realized that I have to only fight it out. No one can support me for this. No medicines. Ultimately, we mutually decided to part away. She chose to go abroad and I chose to keep my son with me. One day, one of my seniors gives me a call and he asks, "Hi DP, how are you? How's things?" I said, "Sir, good. Limb is doing fine. Pains are under control. How's your parents?" I said, "Dad is recovering well out of schizophrenia attack. Mother has almost taken care of the heart ailment, but she's still down with asthma. And my son is okay." And he says, "DP, isn't it a little funny? When will this ordeal get over?" I don't know why, but the answer which came out of me even gives motivation to me. I said, "Sir, this is the fight between me and him. I am his disciple. I don't have any option. I have to win. And he is a good teacher. He is making me fit enough to win over him." With so much responsibilities over my head, and I don't think any ladies behind me to support, what to do? I came towards the games. Because games, sports is always a field from where, in fact, the great leaders are produced from the sports field. I started with the golf, but it was still more of a oldies game. I graduated to squash. Initially, I was a little skeptical that how will I play squash, but then I realized it's possible, shifting a bit with the artificial limb, but still. It gave me a little bit of sweating out, but still, the athlete in me was craving for something more. The adrenaline rush, sweating out, running, feeling tired, I was still missing all that. The part which I wanted to go into, which was always my dream, I am still carrying that, rally sports. So I used to go to sponsors, because it's a very costly affair, and sponsors used to look towards me. Okay. We'll think. We'll get back to you. To never come back. That's the time when I saw one ad. Airtel Delhi Half Marathon 2009. And I realized, this is the place where I can prove my mettle again. Let me tell them what worthy I am. It was hardly around 40 days away, and I have to win back my stamina, my endurance, and I never knew even that how to run with this type of a limb. That's a second life which I was living. I had learned how to stand, I had learned how to walk, but running was still a question mark. Nevertheless, as I always say, options leads to confusion. So I gave away all the options. The only thing was to see the finishing line of 21 kilometers mark. I was on the road practicing. It was very hard initially, but I carried on. And I learned how to run with the limb, the way hop run. Like this. Because that limb actually is not meant for running. So the first marathon which I ran in 2009, it took me 3 hours 40 minutes to finish 21 kilometers. And I know those 21 kilometers, I was just fighting with me, myself, my body and my mind. When I finished that 21 kilometers, I still remember that elation feeling. After so many years, I was feeling tired and really hungry. I was sharing with one of my friends yesterday. First time in my life perhaps, I ate the apple with the core inside of that apple also. Generally we throw that. I was so hungry. Since then, every marathon I ran, I improved my timings. Till 2009, when I ran my first marathon with this blade. Because this is the blade which gives me running. I can run normally. This was again a challenge because after 12 years, I was supposed to run a normal style. And there's a lot of difference between that running, hop running and this. So God was not so easily ready to give this thing to me. There were a lot of medical things which came in between. And I'll share one most important. One of my splinters is here. Half an inch big, splinter stuck inside my ribs. Now because I was running, 70 kg was actually going up, down, up, down. The splinter perhaps got shaken up. I don't know why I started feeling pain. I thought perhaps it's a change of weather, some cough, cold or something. Gradually that pain started increasing. During night it used to be a difficult task for me even to lie down. Daytime it was okay because you were warmed up. All amount of whiskeys failed. Generally I don't go for medicines. So I happened to visit hospital and doctor told me, you see, suddenly I remember one day actually, I thought perhaps there is one splinter which is troubling me here. I saw the old x-ray, the new x-ray, splinter was here and it had shifted down to this place. I said, okay, this is the culprit. Doctor said, let's remove it, operate. Thank you. Enough of operation is already there. And I can't take chance because there were 12 men waiting for me in 2009 November half marathon, motivated just because I was there to go for a 6-kilometer event. So what is the other way out? I thought, if this thing actually started because I am shaking my body too much, perhaps it will stop also somewhere. So why not shake it more? I even started running more. And actually it happened. One day, I don't know where it is stuck now. It is still silent. The last marathon which I ran in Mumbai, January, it took me 2 hours 26 minutes. From 3 hours 40 to 2 hours 26 minutes. So conventionally, people call me a challenged person, physically challenged. You think how challenged I am? Challenging ones. This is the group which I run now on Facebook, also incidentally registered as an NGO now. The idea behind this is to change this attitude only. Firstly, of the challenged person, let them understand they are not challenged, they are the challengers. And secondly, to the mass public. Earlier, I used to say, God, how many more tests will you give me? Enough. Now let me have some peace. Now because I have understood the purpose behind all that, I say, come on, give me something more. I am your disciple. You are my trainer. Dare you not leave me in between till I become perfect or I die. Because soldier never quit till death. Thank you.